Hey guys, Derek here. Welcome back to the channel. We are here to react to the season 1 finale of Halo. I have been super excited for this episode. I really enjoy this show. I'm definitely one of the people that is like a supporter of this show. I know there are a lot of people that aren't thrilled with certain aspects of it. For the most part, I think everything's dope. Other than like the Quan Ha storyline, everything else is, in my opinion, great. So I am really looking forward to this episode. I wonder if it's gonna be the fall of Reach, if that's gonna be like contained into one episode, or if maybe that'll be like season 2 is the fall of Reach. Very interested to find that out. Where we left off, we had a dope fight scene last episode between Master Chief and Riz and Vanek, and he kind of 1v2'd them outside his armor and just barely held on. Like he was getting his butt kicked a little bit, which makes total sense because they are, one, it's 2v1, but they're also in their armor and he was not. But it was cool to see him and Cortana kind of working together in that fight. I thought that dynamic was really fun. Unfortunately, what wasn't really fun was the fact that Maquis, when she went to run for help, the UNSC was like, "We don't believe you. Also, you killed all our men." and then what's his face guard person decided this is a great time to shock her in the same spot that she was shocked as a child, just to unleash some PTSD real quick. At which point she grabs the artifact, and her and John, their like consciousness at least is brought onto Halo for a brief second. She's like, "Goodbye, John," and he's like, "No." Meanwhile, the guard gets incinerated. So presumably that's no bueno. I think that might have alerted the Covenant to their presence, and the exact location, and the fact that she has the artifact, and they're gonna come and try and glass Reach, and that's not good. I assume this episode will have tons of action because the little preview thing had a decent chunk of action. So I'm pretty stoked about this episode. Before we jump into it, please leave a like on the video, especially if you enjoy my reaction. If you're new here, find yourself come back often, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. And then if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, consider supporting me on Patreon. That would mean a ton as well. But otherwise, been waiting too long. Let's jump into the season 1 finale of Halo. Oof. Oh, dang. That was a hefty explosion. That did all that damage just from there? What? It must have wrecked the immediate area. Hopefully everyone else is okay.
Chief, I'm okay. Go.
Okay, so Kai is confirmed Gucci. That's good. That's all we care about, really.
Maquis, she took the artifact. She's gone.
Maybe it's kind of like a hurricane where it's less damage at the center of the storm. So that room was fine, but everywhere else is shredded. Oi! That was rude. Hey, 7 behind you. Turn around.
Chief.
Halsey's orders are to bring you in.
Vanek, shut up. It's not the time, buddy.
She just wants to control you. Raise your weapon, Riz.
She kidnapped us. She tortured and brainwashed us.
Or they need keys to back them up here.
Listen.
It's not true!
It is. It's all true.
He was there.
I planned your abductions. Delivered your replacement clones to your families.
Work with her to erase your memories.
Well, hopefully their
There's anyone you should
emotional reactions will not be as intense because of they still have the pellet inside them. So they might be able to handle this a little better.
We're all we have now.
True. Really the only family you got left.
You three go. I want Halsey.
I don't know if that's a good idea. Halsey was a little bit too important of a character to die. And a potential confrontation between those two would make me think that Kai would be the one not making it out. Ooh, is Kai gonna... Ooh, Kai. Look how quick you run, girl. Is she gonna jump onto that ship? Goated. Yo. Young stunner! Kill that guy. Kai, shoot him in the face. Don't take it off. You need that for protection.
What's my real name?
Kai,
That's what she wants to know.
Who am I?
you are exactly who you're meant to be.
That's not what she wants to hear. Boy. She's got super bones. What you think this is, a amateur hour? She gonna mess you up, son. Oh my god. Yes, Kai. Jesus. I think he's dead. God damn. Oh, that was incredible. I wanted that petulant little baby to die the whole season. Kai's gonna tank this landing. Just brace yourself for impact. She's fine. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. We're Gucci. Okay, that was a pretty aggressive landing. They have parachutes on board? Come on. Please don't be dead. Goated. Another happy landing. Ooh, baby girl. She put her armor in lock mode. I mean, if Chief can survive a fall from space in the games by putting his armor in like lockdown mode, she could probably tank a landing from
Yes,
that
Chief.
high up.
I'm still with you.
I'm gonna need you now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go. Let's go. Hype City. Population me.
The halo is meant to be revealed where the stars sparkle like glass.
Aspero is an unstable system surrounded by an artificial dynamical network of what appear to be cosmic strings. Gravitational lensing
What does that mean?
warps and scatters the light coming from within the system, creating kaleidoscopic effect.
Interesting. So that's a pretty good camouflage.
When you walk into the battlefield, John must no longer exist. Only the Master Chief.
They're kind of becoming the same thing, really.
There's no apology that can give you back what we took from you.
Good answer.
But if there will be reckoning, Captain. Someday. For all of us. Not today.
I wonder if they took their pellets out. maybe they, tactically they would be like, hey, maybe wait until this fight's over.
Shoot me.
You know I would have.
Absolutely. No question.
You know I would have. Absolutely.
Well, weren't you gonna shoot us?
Of course I would have. I would just felt bad about it. Damn, Penny.
I would have felt bad about it. Like I was saying, though, tactically, maybe they should wait until this immediate fight is over before they take out their pellets. Because when Kai took out hers, it was very overwhelming, especially on the battlefield. So, you know, these pellets might be a good thing for the temporary time being. Plus, they know the truth. So that's good. Executor. Never mind. So what's going down in her town now? Yo. What is this place? This isn't High Charity, right? This is like an actual planet. It's Tatooine.
Halsey needed me to find the Halo.
Yes.
Once McKee showed up, I became redundant.
Yes.
Well, yeah, maybe secure grenades. We don't want those just bouncing about.
I believe that what Dr. Halsey wants to eliminate from your species is precisely the thing that makes you special. Your humanity. I've watched you fight for years.
So you no longer want to take over my body?
Oh wait, for the less beaten up version.
Always cracking jokes. She's so fun.
If you're too far in the wrong direction, the ship will be spaghettified by tidal forces.
Spaghettified.
Stretched.
Pasta.
Twisted, torn apart.
Right. And you didn't think I should know this before we left?
Our odds for success were already so low.
Fennec's like, what the hell? Why am I here? I ain't trying to turn into spaghetti. That is cool. Trust your instincts. Embrace, John. Just let go. Eyes on the prize, baby. He knows what he's doing. That's wild. I wonder, like, how scientifically, like, accurate that is. Like, whatever is happening between whatever competing gravitational realities or whatever they talked about. I wonder if that would
You're still alive.
work that way.
They've already reached a verdict.
Guilty.
Would you like to hear it?
What if they found her innocent?
The committee is convinced that she is too dangerous for incarceration or exile.
They want to kill her?
Article 72. Wanted you to hear it from me. Miranda, you are chasing a ghost. Let it go.
Let what go? Like, what is she? Is the ghost the old version of Halsey, the motherly version of her?
Just the artifacts. That's the mission, right, Chief?
He's talking about McKee.
Thank you, Kai.
Thank you, Kai.
You heard him.
Yo, Kai loves chucking grenades to teammates and getting grenades chucked to her. Bitchin'. This is so cool. This is friggin' rad as hell. That's a super far drop. God damn. They don't need parachutes? Grunt. So, he's sleeping on the job and just gets crushed by a Spartan dropping from space.
No one will remember you.
Oh, savage. No one will remember you.
The guard said her nose started bleeding again. She just started seizing. Dr. Halsey, we're going to help you.
It's a clone. It's a clone. Dang.
That's him. That's not my mother.
Dang. So what happened to the real Halsey? Did she take a different escape pod?
Chief! We've been compromised.
Yikes.
Calculating. 1, 2,
6.
250,
Chief, how many?
hundreds, but they're coming in waves.
We need to move. Now.
Now that's some classic Halo combat right there. Hundreds of enemies coming in waves? That's a whole game mode in itself. Oof. Those are some big boys. Ooh, and that's Atriox or whatever his name is.
Remember him?
Unfinished business, baby. Oh, Riz is gonna get murked. Oh, just pulled her out of midair. Oh, Chief, you're goated, brother. Oh, is he taking 4v1 right now? Ooh, yeah, you're gonna need some help, man. Oh, almost worked. Oh, that right there was reminiscent of the Halo 3 TV ad or whatever that they made with all the miniatures when a brute is holding him up by his neck. What's happening? Oh, god damn. Just yeeting all those people off the hill. Okay. Okay, John. You're on Halo now?
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's pretty good looking. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
This isn't real.
We belong here.
Oh yeah, she's gonna kill her. And then to get to Halo, that's why he has to go to Madrigal so Quan Ha can show him the way. Oh, bullet to the chest. Let's go, Kai. Gang, gang. Atta girl.
Oh, John.
Pretend it was a stray bullet from the Covenant. Oh, that's no bueno. Oh. Dang, Chief, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to do a little bit of work here, bud. Each one of them is in bad shape.
That's not possible.
Ooh, her shoulder is like gone.
Take over my body.
I told you, I no longer want to control you.
The only way to get the artifacts and save the others.
It's a bold move. Shoot him in the face and he just tanked that bullet? Dang, son. Yeah, you will. You'll be fine. It'll be fine. Gotta act now. Oof. Oof. He tanked a bullet to his face, bruh. He's a hefty big boy.
When the game is over, the king and the pawn go back into the same box.
That's what she said when she was first brought online. Cortana is goated. No wonder they wanted her to take over his body. She is clutch. Would it be? It's not gonna do anything. Cause it's Cortana. Sucks to suck, Maki.
Riz! She's faded!
I think Riz might die. That would honestly make sense if she died. Kind of had to figure that they wouldn't all make it out of this. Ooh. She had like her shoulder blown off, her left breast blown off. Interesting. So she had like a whole setup just in case. Oh, she is just melted. So the fall of Reach is either going to happen next season or not at all.
John? Is that you?
Not at the moment. Oh, can't end there? Are you for real? That was a good episode. Freaking balls, man. That was a season finale? Bro, that was such a good episode. Oh man, the whole second half of this episode was friggin' dope. Okay, so we start off with they're trying to get Maki and hunt them down, but they get stopped at first, and John has to convince the other two Spartans of helping him, and he tells all about their past, at which point, in order to corroborate it, Keys has to come clean about his role in this activity, and I thought that scene did a good job of developing the bond a little bit more between the Spartans. You know, we've known they're on a team together this whole time, and we've heard and seen snippets of their training, how they came up together and stuff like that. But the connections, we've really only seen like the connections between John and Kai to this point, where in episode 5 he kind of like set the mission aside to go protect her. They had their little bedside chat and stuff, but we haven't really had that connection develop between Riz and Vanek and John, and really and Kai as well. I mean, she's had more of a connection with them than John has, but I thought that scene did a good job to further, not like massively develop a connection between all of them, but it went a long way when he's like, we are all we have. They previously thought they had Halsey that they could rely on, that she was kind of family to them, even though they don't really feel anything, at least two of them don't. And John has to be like, we are all that we have right now. And I think that just helps solidify all their bonds. We don't know right now necessarily if Riz and Vanek took their pellets out. I assume they didn't. Right now I'm going to assume that they have them still in. Just from like a tactical standpoint, might have been best to wait, considering they were going into a big fight. And you know, it's smart. Kai goes after Halsey and wants to know her real name. This scene was super dope because two things. What's his face? Not Andrew. The stupid helper guy, the petulant little bitch boy that has this creepy obsession with Halsey and like was gonna kiss her clone. He hits her and he hits Kai in the head with like a crowbar. And it's like, dude, my mans, you're a weak little baby boy by regular human standards. And she has like a titanium skull. Like, what are you gonna do? And she picks him up and just yeets him into the ceiling. Just crushes this man. But she just annihilates this man. It is so cool. It took me off guard quite a bit, if I'm honest. And then she rides a crashing pelican, not a pelican, rides Halsey's ship as it's crashing into the ground and just tanks that. Like, just perfectly fine. Very interesting, you know, from what I've experienced in Halo. You know, long falls can be detrimental, but you know, we've seen them drop from the sky in episode 1, but that wasn't like a gigantic drop, and this ship was moving pretty quick, if we're honest. But she makes it out, is Gucci. Things are golden. Keyes has a moment to kind of apologize to John for his actions, because he's also been keeping him in the dark the whole season, really, and his whole life about his role in it. And I thought the words that he spoke to him were genuine, and if any apology could be made that might sway John, I think that might have been the right thing to say, where he was like, listen, nothing that I say to you, no apology will be worth enough to give you back what I took from you. I thought it was effective because it didn't just like acknowledge that like he played a role. Like it wasn't him just being like, hey, I'm sorry. But like he actively was like, I took that from you and nothing I can do will make up for it. Like, you deserve more. And John, I don't think he necessarily forgives him, but he's like, now is not the time for me to hold you accountable. Which I like. His daughter, on the other hand, is not going to talk to him for a little bit. Totally makes sense. We get a scene of Halsey running from her crashed escape pod. Now, I assume that is, at that point, that's the clone. My question is, at which point did she switch out? At which point did she become a clone? Because when they replaced the Spartans, she said, you know, the clone would, over the course of like weeks or something, like a couple weeks or a couple months later, would die of unexplained things. So it could have been a little bit, like, presumably from the point in which you know, Parangoski was like, you're done, you're exiled. Maybe that's when she did it, before she like left her lab. You know, it could have been before she like started those orders and they were on their ship. She could have left then, who knows? But that clone is taken in, and then the whole the sequence of them trying to find this spot was really cool. The visuals of their ship traveling through the like, it's like somewhat slip space, but then they get there and it's like these, the way they described it is like these two, like there's various gravitational things happening. And they have to try and like ride the line between them to avoid their ship getting torn apart. That was interesting. And I thought it was visually really cool. But then from 28 minutes, the last 20 minutes of the episode where they just yeet themselves out of this pelican from sky high, and they're on a covert mission to take these people out, land on a grunt that's like sleeping on the job. So funny. And they're just doing work, but then Maquis, or they activate the things, and they get found out, and the preceding fight scene was so dope. Like, one, showed how capable the Spartans are again, especially John. He was taking on like 5 brutes at once, like insanity. And then Riz tries to take on one brute. Granted, it was the good brute, the best one, and it catches her out of midair and just slams her against the wall and is like, "You're done." Just crushes her. Oh man! And then them just trying to hold on against all these enemies, and Maquis is like, "I'm gonna touch these artifacts." Takes her and John into the Halo consciousness realm, and they need Master Chief to fight. Obviously, they're gonna get overwhelmed without him. So Kai makes the executive decision and just smokes Maquis, shoots her right in the chest. I was hoping she would have shot her in the face. It would have been interesting to see, like, mid Vision Quest, to see like her face just explode. I don't know why, but that would have been dope. They went with the slightly more subdued, a little more emotional, like just blood, pooling in the chest. At which point, Riz takes a grenade to the shoulder, a sticky grenade to the shoulder, plasma grenade, sorry. And it just like eviscerates her shoulder, like blows off her like pec. Like her boob was gone, and you could see like lung and like rib cage, and is just like, ugh, like brutal. And at which point, Cortana, John has Cortana take over to do work, and she is, wow. Totally makes sense that they wanted her to have this role, because her in John's body is unstoppable. Like, she's a machine, literally. Just murks everybody. That brute is charging, and she at the same time controls a pelican, destroys him. We don't know, he might not be dead. He could totally still be alive. He just got, just wrecked by that pelican. He might make it out of there, because he seemed pretty capable. He took a shot straight to his face, and it just pissed him off. So he might live. Then they get the artifacts back. They're presumably going to need those to find Halo. And it's rough. Riz especially was cooked. Like, her flesh was like melting off. But they escape. They escape with the artifacts, which seemingly is good. We don't know at this point who's back in control. I think Cortana is still in control of John at the moment. That'll be a season 2 thing of her trying to bring him back, because she wasn't confident that if she took over that John would ever come back. So who knows? Halsey is alive and well and going to the Tether, presumably to a secret lab somewhere. And that's season 1 of Halo. I thoroughly enjoyed this season. I thought pretty much everything except for Quan Ha I thought was wonderful. Even in Quan Ha focused episodes, Soren, I thought Soren was dope. I thought all the Spartans were awesome. Vanek and Riz were cool. Like, as Spartans themselves, they're dope, very capable. My favorite characters, though, definitely have to be John, Master Chief, and Kai. I thought she was Kai, especially breakout star in this show. If they don't do more to, include her in more, like, I think she should be introduced to the core canon in some respect, somehow, because I think she's awesome. With her weird gun grease colored hair. Like her dynamic with the other Spartans was so fun, especially once she got her pellet out. She's just so charming and incredibly capable and just fantastic. I thought the action, when the action happened, was super cool. There was a lot of non-actiony stuff, which makes sense. I think part of that is, you know, they want to develop these characters as characters. You know, so, you know, it can be hard to be invested in a character when you see them entering a battlefield. You know, are they going to live? Are they going to not live? It's harder to be invested in the outcome of their fight if you don't care about them as characters. Obviously, in the games, you care about Master Chief. You care about John because you are him. Like, you dying means you lose. But, you know, a lot of the other characters in the games, you don't really care that much if they die. Like, that's not something you're invested in. You care about Cortana and John, and that's really the main two people. So we had to have quite a bit of them not fighting, not in the suits, to develop them as characters. And I personally think it worked well. I know a ton of people did not like that. They wanted their Halo show to be just Master Chief in his suit the whole time fighting Covenant, and realistically, that was never going to happen. Like, from a monetary standpoint, never going to happen. From a long form storytelling standpoint, that was never going to happen. Like, people need to realize, like, all the people that are mad about that, I think just generally don't understand storytelling and what it takes to make engaging stories. You know, all the people being like, oh, this isn't Halo. Yeah, it is. Shut up. This was as Halo gets, man. Like, just because he didn't have his helmet on for a decent chunk of the season does not mean this isn't Halo. Like, get over yourselves. I thought it was wonderful. A ton of other people thought it was great. Pretty much everyone that was mad has really only experienced the games, hasn't really read any of the books or seen any of the supplemental Halo content. So I don't really value their opinion, if I'm honest. But I thought it was great. I thought the characters were great. Halsey was very engaging with her like sociopathic tendencies. I thought Cortana was fantastic. The dynamic between her and John that they built over the course of the season was wonderful. You know, they started off a little adversarial, obviously, but Jen Taylor portraying Cortana is always fantastic. Shut up, birds. And just the trust that they built together over the course of the season, and like the moment where Cortana is like, I think her divergence from Halsey in terms of ideology was great, where Halsey's like, humanity, like the humanity inside humans is the bad thing. And Cortana went the opposite way of like, that's precisely what makes you worth fighting for. I thought it was great. Freaking wonderful. Very interested to see where season 2 goes, in terms of like possibly seeing the fall of Reach, because you know, I assume they'll know where Reach is. Like, it's not a they've already, you know, the Covenant has already made headway into humanity's space, their territories, so it's not too far a stretch to figure out that they would figure out where Reach is. And humanity just came into their holy site, killed a bunch of people, took their artifact, and left. So they're gonna want some revenge. So I assume the fall of Reach being, you know, season 2, like leading up to the fall of Reach, or, you know, midway point of season 2, maybe fall of Reach. That'd be interesting. I wonder how long it'll take them to get into the actual Halo games storyline, because like Halo 1 starts like mid-war with Covenant. You know, Halo has been, I think Halo's been found at that point, right? Has it? I don't remember. But it'll be interesting to see like how quickly that progresses in season 2. I'm interested to see if maybe more action will be in season 2, because the pandemic had a big impact on particularly VFX work. You know, there's even still currently a huge backlog of VFX stuff for people to do that might have influenced how much of that they wanted to put in the season, if that makes sense, right? Like, if you know that you potentially are either going to have to delay the season coming out for a long time, or it won't look as good, and you know, will be way more expensive. It would make sense if they decided to include a little less of that and a little more character work. Season 2, I think these VFX artists are somewhat starting to clear that backlog, and so it might be have a little more combat, and it'll be more refined, probably. You know, I don't know how. I think they could do a lot more practical stuff with the people in the suits, especially in terms of combat. It doesn't have to be these bombastic fights. Granted, those are friggin' dope as hell. But hopefully, and then they hopefully make Kwan Ha's storyline interesting next season. She's given the role of Protector and is gonna presumably lead John somewhere to the portal that takes him to Halo. So that'll be interesting to see how they develop that. I just hopefully they take the things they learned from this season and all the things that people didn't like, and they can, you know, use that to make a stronger season 2 and beyond. Because so often shows used to be given a little more leeway. The leash was a little longer for shows, where sometimes season 1 of a show isn't perfect. You know, it's not always going to be a home run right off the bat. And I feel like shows in the past were given a little more leeway to kind of find their footing and become something that people love. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., one of my favorite shows of all time. A lot of people didn't like the first season. Granted, they kind of had to spend the first like 17 episodes of that 22 episode season waiting for Winter Soldier to come out so that they could do their twist. And a lot of that character development went a long way. That show went 7 seasons, and many people find it some of their favorite Marvel content ever. And so hopefully they can take what they learned, what worked and didn't work from this season, and apply it to next season, and it can be stronger and more people will come along. I think more recently, if a show isn't fantastic right off the bat, if it's just okay, studios in particular will be a lot more willing to just kind of like cut it loose, especially if it's like Netflix. They will absolutely be like, nah, wasn't, you know, the return on investment wasn't enough, we're done. Fans, especially if it's just okay, fans will be like, it's trash, don't watch it, not worth watching. The good thing is that this is on Paramount Plus, and I think Paramount Plus has shown that they are willing to let a show ride for a while. The first ones off my head that I can think of is like Star Trek Discovery. A lot of people were like furious about that show initially, and a lot of people still give it a ton of hate online, and it's like 4 seasons, 5 seasons deep now. So I think Paramount Plus they're not going to be quick on the cancellation button, right? Especially this is Halo. This is a mega property that if they can, they're going to put it out, and because they know people will watch. So hopefully with Paramount's willingness to let it go and find its footing, and the growth that they'll have learned from season 1, hopefully this show can develop into something truly special. I had a great time watching season 1. There were definitely flaws and things I didn't love. You know, Kwan Ha's storyline especially, wasn't a fan of it, honestly. I liked Soren. I wish he could have been involved in a different way, but I think looking back on the whole season, Kwan Ha's storyline wasn't that necessary. I think they could have found a more interesting way to make that happen. A lot of people made a big deal about John taking off his helmet early on. I think, yeah, maybe episode 1, the end of episode 1 was a little soon to take it off, especially since the the whole purpose of him taking his helmet off was to earn Kwan Ha's trust. And then after that, they kind of went their separate ways. So like that trust, like them building that trust together wasn't super important in the long run, seemingly. So I think they could have gone a little longer without him taking his helmet off, or at least found a better reason for him to take it off. You know, in the context of watching that episode, that singular episode, you're like, okay, yeah, that's earned. He needed to earn that trust. But given the fact that they don't have too much of a connection after that, might have been a little not dramatic enough or not worthy enough for the helmet removal. But then, yeah, you kind of did have to get that out of the way pretty quick, though, to develop him as a character and as a person that has emotions. So I don't hate it. I think maybe it could have been done a little bit better, but it is what it is. But overall, I am very pleased with this season. I think it's great. I'm definitely going to be watching season 2. I'm going to be reacting to season 2. Hopefully for season 2, Paramount Plus is a little more chill with reactions, because they have this thing where even for their trailers for shows, Paramount Plus is very quick to claim something. Surprisingly, last episode didn't get claimed at all, but they manually claim everything. Whether you like the show, hate the show, are ambivalent towards the show, if you put out anything in relation to it that includes more than like 5 seconds of footage, they will manually claim that shiz in a heartbeat. Whether that be Halo, whether that be Star Trek, whether that be really anything that's on their platform, they are extremely greedy when it comes to not wanting anybody to see any of their stuff unless it's on their platform. Which sucks. I wish more companies would realize the role that, YouTubers and content creators can play in the promotion of their show. HBO has, with Watchmen, they leaned into it a little bit, where they sent some reactors like care packages of cool stuff. A little bit of some of the CW shows, like Legends of Tomorrow, they made a big deal about, shouting out creators that watched their show. I think they literally had a scene in the show or in the like DC fandom or something like that, where it showed like a compilation of it. So like the companies and publishers and shows that lean into that fan reception and the fan engagement, I think they do super well and become popular for a reason. But when companies like Paramount Plus, Viacom, CBS, all encompassing, when they constantly are claiming videos, like that makes it less incentivizing for content creators to cover their show. Like if I knew going in that anytime I tried to make a Halo video that it would get blocked, like whether some of them immediately, one of them got blocked with 16 views on it. Like if I had known that it's going to be near impossible to make videos on this show, I wouldn't have done reactions to it. I would have just watched it on my own time. Granted, they don't always block it. Sometimes they just claim it, but they make it incredibly difficult to make, content about their show. And I think more companies need to realize that, like, the more people talk about your show, especially positively, the more people will watch it. And constantly, like, that's like anime companies in Japan that are constantly claiming and striking anime reactions and reviews and and all these things, like, you're not doing your show any sort of service. Like, you're actively making it so less people want to watch it. Like say I was a channel with 5 million subscribers, right? And I put out positive content about your show, that is going to massively drive people to go watch your show. You know, so many companies, they'll go off the process of, oh, you're taking views away from us. No, we're not. No, we're not. No one is coming to my video to watch the Halo show, like, without having seen it. The whole purpose of reaction videos is to see someone experience something that you like for the first time. You know, it's not a substitute. We're not trying to take views away from these companies. So hopefully with season 2, Paramount and CBS are a little more chill, especially since it's not even like catching it via like bot. It's not even like a auto claim. It's a manual claim. It's CBS employee watching these videos and hitting claim and being like, that's our money now, or no one can see this now. Which moronic CBS executive put in place this policy to kind of scrub the internet? Like, no one would know these shows existed if it weren't for people talking about them. So I don't know, it's crazy that they think that that is a smart idea. And I've been talking too much about it. I know there's a whole big thing with, like, I think the most prominent situation with CBS versus a creator right now is Angry Joe show. I'm not the biggest fan of his content. I think he kind of leans a little too much into the hate side of things, specifically in regards to this show, but also in general when things include progressive storylines. He very much does not seem to like that. So I'm not the biggest fan of his content in general, but I have been slightly keeping up with his battle with CBS, and if he ended up taking him to court over this, I wouldn't hate it. I think that would be extremely beneficial, especially if he won, because CBS, quite frankly, is abusing the copyright system, and something needs to happen. So hopefully there is either just like a tear down and rebuild up of the copyright system that is more beneficial to fair use, like, and people and companies respecting fair use, or, you know, companies just become more chill about promotion of their show. I don't know. I've been talking too much. Back to the main topic. I really enjoyed this show. Can't wait for season 2. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this show and enjoyed my reactions to it. Hopefully you don't hate my opinions of people that don't like the show too much, especially because a lot of people just seem to be hating this show just to hate the show, and not necessarily like so much of the hate of this show that I've seen online has not been from a standpoint of like constructive criticism. It's very much like a lot of it has just been like, you go into any comment section and all it is people being like, trash show, not Halo, don't even watch it. And it's like, bro, if you don't have actual constructive criticism about what you do and do not like about the show and what you think works and doesn't work, just because it's slightly different doesn't mean that it's bad. And you coming into comment sections of my videos and other people's videos and, you know, all this stuff and just being like, trash show, not Halo, that your opinion doesn't matter. I should just respond, trash comment, not worthy of dissecting. Now, if you have actual like constructive criticism about what you think is and isn't good about the show, by all means, like, put that out there. I think that is valuable for the creators of the show to see, okay, people don't like Quan Ha's storyline. Maybe we need to reshift that and figure out some writing in that respect that works. You know, people weren't a fan of this particular part of the story, or this performance from this actor, or this or this. And they can take that criticism and they can use that and help that in the development of season 2. But the people that are just like, trash show, not Halo, you know, not my Master Chief, like, that doesn't help. You should want this show to be good. Like, I think that's the main thing, is you should want this show to be good. And just hating on it, hate watching, like only looking for things to dislike about the show is not valuable in any way. So, you know, I think people need to shift up their opinions on some stuff, and just, that's all I gotta say about that. But yeah, definitely let me know what you guys thought of the show in a constructive way. Please, that would be awesome. If you liked my reactions to this episode or the season as a whole, leave a like on the video. It means a lot to me. Subscribe if you are new here. And then if you want to see the full uncut reaction to this episode, or just want to support me directly in general, consider checking out my Patreon. That would mean a ton as well. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.